G'day folks, Conor here from Sudobs Media, back with another video, and today we're doing my full review on the Vivo Y52 5G. So without further ado, hit the like button and the subscribe button and let's get stuck into my video. Let's go. Now this is a new budget offering from Vivo that has recently been released in Australia and in most places as well within the last month or two. It is a $349 smartphone, so coming from like a Galaxy S21 Ultra where they're around $2,000, this is very budget. And some of the simple specs we get right from the start are 5,000 milliamp hour battery, 48 megapixel rear facing camera, it is 5G, comes with 4 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage, and a Dimensity 700 5G chipset from MediaTek. We are talking plastic on the back, Gorilla Glass on the front, pretty basic setup here. You got a single camera on the front and only 2 lenses on the back. Now it is a dual SIM and comes in at 193 grams, which isn't too heavy, but it's not too light. But I don't actually mind the width and size of this device. It's quite easy to handle one-handed, so it's nice to get something from Vivo that's manageable. It is a 6.5 inch display, and that display is an IPS LCD display. I think it suits the low range quite well. You definitely get enough out of it for the price, and I don't think anyone's going to be disappointed with the display. Now for me in day-to-day use, I was out and about with it, and I found that it was easy to manage. The hardware was fairly sufficient, and the software was mediocre. And I'm going to get into why. Now that hardware is a 48 megapixel camera. Look, it's not the best. For $350, you're not going to get the best, but you are going to get photos that are good enough to share straight from your phone to social media or to send to your friends and family on WhatsApp or whatever it is that you're currently using. So from that point of view, I think the camera is fine. It does do 1080p, 30 frames per second on the front and rear facing camera, no 4K. It actually can do 60 frames per second on the rear facing camera. So that's not bad. If you do like to edit your videos in your phone or even on your computer, you will be able to get some slow motion shots with that 60 frames per second. The more you play with this footage though, the more it falls apart. So it really is just for that quick video while you're out and about with friends and family, and then sharing it to social media like I was doing during my time with the Vivo Y52 5G. I had no problems with the display either indoors or outdoors in bright sunlight. It is very bright where I am, Gold Coast, Brisbane, lots of sunshine, and I didn't once think, oh gee, I can't see this. So that's good to see. And that display is 401 ppi, so not the most pixels per inch, but enough to get you by. Look, I was watching Netflix and YouTube on this from time to time. I didn't spend a lot of time viewing media on it, but it is capable of doing so as your only device for viewing content. Now it is running Android 11 and FunTouch 11.1. And I'd have to say at first impressions, I thought, wow, this FunTouch looks pretty close to Android and I'm pretty happy with it. But the more I used it, the more bogged down it did get. And I have found that it does lag a fair bit for a device of this price. You look at an Oppo device at the same price or a Realme device at the same price, they don't really lag like this. So I don't know what Vivo's doing with their software, but I think they need to lift their game a bit, get that software running nice and smooth. One of the things that I think might contribute to this is that it only has 4 gigabytes of RAM. And I think these days you really need that 6+ gigabytes of RAM to manage not just the software on the phone, but the applications that are drawing down all that power and staying in the background for longer. So I think Vivo could probably either tweak the software a bit or their next budget device could have 6 gigs of RAM. I think FunTouch is still very immature, whereas with Realme it's like the next step up. Oppo even more mature and a lot better refined. So Vivo, FunTouch, you got some work to do there, and it was really evident, especially scrolling my Google feed or Instagram or Facebook, those social media heavy applications where you're viewing a lot of content, whether it's photos or video, I really noticed it struggle. Now a couple more things I do want to close off on. Number one is gaming. Now this is capable of gaming. You do have to keep your graphics settings down low just to make sure your phone can handle it, but most games automatically do that if they do detect that you've got an inferior processor or CPU. Now, you can see from here I played a bit of Asphalt 9, a bit of Leo's Fortune, a bit of PUBG, and it handled the games really well. It was an okay experience. Not amazing, but it was okay. And I think if you know that this is what you get for the price, you're going to be happy with the results. You will, though, at times wish you had more money for a better phone. It's just how it is, you know, we always want more. And moving into battery life, I found that the battery was really capable for me. I was getting at least 2 days use out of it. That's pretty heavy use as well. Not a lot of phone calls. I don't make too many phone calls, but definitely a lot of social media, a lot of watching content, a lot of filming and photography as well. And I definitely found that it was capable of doing all those things for 2 days pretty solidly. And that again comes down to 4 gigs of RAM and the 700 Dimensity chipset. I mean, these aren't very powerful and they're going to do the best they can, but they're not going to suck a lot of power. So that's one upside. 5,000 milliamp hours. Now the front-facing camera is only 8 megapixels and can only shoot 1080p 30 frames per second. And as you can see from these videos, it leaves a little to be desired, but again, at this price point, you would expect that. Now, I do think phones like Oppo, Realme Lite, Neo, whatever it's called, links down below if you want to see that video, but these phones are definitely more mature and perform a lot better. Their cameras are better, their software's better, so if you can pick up one of those for a little bit more, you're going to do a lot better in the performance and software and all sorts of different areas. But not bad, Vivo, not bad. It does come with Bluetooth 5.1, has a headphone jack in it, which is nice. Not a lot of phones have a headphone jack these days, so it's nice to get that. And a couple more things I do want to mention to close out the video. Fingerprint scanner on the side. Why? I have no idea. That's a stupid idea. Get rid of it. I don't know how secure the face unlock is, but it works really well. It always works faster than the fingerprint scanner, especially when the fingerprint scanner is on the side. So I think that's one of the definite pluses here for this device. Face unlock, super quick. So I guess the pros for me on this device are, I think the display is pretty good. Even though it's an IPS LCD display, I think it's not bad. I think the face unlock is really fast, and I think watching content on it is a pleasant experience. Battery life is also a major plus. For me, the negatives are, or the cons, whatever you want to call them, the performance. It really falls behind. The 4 gigs of RAM or the Dimensity 700, it just doesn't seem to perform. It just doesn't seem to perform how it should. I think it's software related, but also I think a bit more RAM would help an awful lot. And the camera is a little bit disappointing as well. Maybe expect just a little bit more in this day and age at this price point. But other than that, I don't think it's a device where you're going to really hate it. If you do pick it up, if it's all you can afford, it's definitely going to get you by. It's an average performer at the low end of the price point. So it's not all doom and gloom, and I think you will be able to survive with it, whether it's photography or video. But in saying that, I think it will get you by. If this is all you've got, it's not that bad. I mean, you do get competent camera and video recorder for social media posts. You can game on it and you can view content on it. It's not a workhorse. It's not a Galaxy S21 Ultra. It is a Vivo Y52 5G. Now also, the 5G, it works how you would expect it to work. I mean, it depends on your carrier, depends on your area. I live in an area where there is patchy 5G, and when I was in a good 5G area, I got good speeds. When I was in a bad 5G area, it sort of didn't know what to do, and the speeds were still okay because 4G isn't that bad. So 5G or not, I think is beside the point. All the other areas that we care about, this was an average performer. Thank you for watching. I hope you appreciate my honesty on this review, and I look forward to you all seeing my next video. Don't forget, links down below, and I will catch you in the next video. Check ya!